Why are you, Devon Larrett, going to lose to LEVAN this June 2022? This is the Waco Kid here in Texas. Now, I have an expertise in strength in an unrelated field to arm wrestling. So I know a little something about strength. Here's where a lot of people get it wrong. I mean, a lot of people. Strength is not a byproduct of endurance, my friend. Okay, Devon? That's what you're doing. That's your strategy. Endurance is a byproduct of strength. So you got them flip-flopped. And that's what's going to cause you to lose to LEVAN in June. Don't quite understand what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see if I can put a good example or analogy for what you're doing, Devon, right now, versus what you should be doing. You're lifting a feather 1,000 times a day. And I've seen you doing all these different things with your wrist, and you're pulling, and you're doing all the arm wrestling matches and training and stuff like that. Okay, so let's call that a feather. And you're doing that 1,000 times a day. Now let's take a 100-pound weight. How many times can you lift that damn feather so that you'll be able to pick up that 100-pound weight? You'll never be able to pick up that 100-pound weight, Devon. You'll never be able to do it lifting that feather 1,000 times a day or 10,000 times a day. 1,000 times a day, that's your endurance. You're doing reps, and endurance does not translate to strength. Strength is not a byproduct of endurance. Now let's flip it. Let's say that you are only lifting maybe 10, 20, or 30 times or 30 reps a day, that 100 pounds. Now think about it. Think about it, Devon. You got to use your noggin up here because you're not using your noggin. Okay, Devon, you lift 100 pounds 10 times a day. Okay? Now, how many freaking times do you think you could lift that feather? You feel me? You see where I'm going? Most people got this wrong. Endurance is a byproduct of strength. Okay? Strength is not a byproduct of endurance. If you can lift that 100-pound weight 10 times a day, you can do 1,000,000 feathers all week long. You're going to have tons and tons of endurance. That's where you made your mistake, Devon. You made your mistake right there. Your strategy is all wrong. You already know how to arm wrestle. You're one of the best arm wrestlers on the planet. You don't need more practice in arm wrestling. You needed to up your strength. The only deficit you had going into the match with LEVAN was strength. You had LEVAN beat on all fronts when it comes to arm wrestling. You're a better arm wrestler than he is. He's stronger than you. And that's going to be your downfall in June. I predict that you won't even win one match because you've been training the wrong way. Now, after you lose and you're thinking about some kind of rematch, here's what I recommend for you to do. All these days of training that you're doing, you should wipe all those out, and you should go down to once, but no more than twice a week, and lump all those daily trainings into that 1 time per week or those 2 times per week sessions. That might mean you might have an 8 or 10 hour session on one day. But the other days you got to rest because you're actually trying to gain tendon strength and ligament strength and bone strength. You have to let those rest, actually preferably a week. Okay? Muscles, you don't. But even the way you're training right now, you're not even training the best for muscle strength. You should be at least letting those muscles rest for 24 to 48 hours. So, Devon, I don't have anything against you. I don't know you personally. You seem like a pretty stand-up guy. I don't like the way you treated John Brzezinski before your match. The last one, I thought you were quite disrespectful. So I don't like that part. But as far as you as a person, you seem like a cool guy. Seem like a kind of dude that I can hang out with. Yeah, you seem like a pretty intelligent person. But you're using the same strategy you've used on other people. I know you probably don't see it this way, but you can't look outside yourself. You're using this strategy of so many reps and so much endurance type of activities. And that's not the strategy for someone who's much stronger than you. It's a perfect strategy for someone who's a little bit stronger than you or someone who's a little bit weaker than you. Yes, you're doing it right. But for someone who's so much stronger than you, like LEVAN, that is their absolute wrong strategy, and it's going to get you nipped in the bud in June. Adios, my friend.